Welcome to this screencast on ActiveRecord, uh, using ActiveRecord for doing complex queries in the SQL database. Let's get started. I have episodes table and I have downloads table. So episodes, let's see what it has. ID, download link and all that. And let's see the downloads table. It has episode ID, remote IP, created at, updated at. So the relationship is episode has many downloads. There's a one-to-many relationship. The direction is from episode to downloads. So each episode has many downloads, but that one download or any of the downloads can belong to only one episode. That particular download is belongs. So it's going from episode to downloads. So we have just have one to many in that direction. Okay, I want to show a few SQL basics before I move on to the complicated thing. So what I want to show is some basics of using group by, order by, and doing a join and those kind of things, and how the same thing can be done using ActiveRecord. So let's start off with something simple. Just say select. I want to find how many records are there in the downloads. How many downloads has happened for episode number 1? And there's been 1379. Okay, next I want to list all the that's fine, but the question now is, what is the query that I need to have in order to list all the episodes and the number of downloads for each of those episodes? That's where the group by comes into picture. So in that case, I do select. I want the episode ID and also want the count for those episodes as number of downloads from downloads. I want to group by episode ID, and it gives me the entire episodes from 1 all the way to 73 and the number of downloads for each episode. That's fine, but I want to look at the most popular downloads and what those episodes are. I don't want this thing to be sorted this way. I want this thing to be ordered by the most popular at the top and the number 2, then number 3, and so on. So in order to do that, we need to change the query. So how do we do this? That's where we have to specify the having filter. So having filter is used after data is grouped. So group by will not sort. So anytime you use a group by clause, you should also specify an order by clause if the default sort order used by group by does not make any sense. In this case, for instance, okay, order space by, I want this thing to order by number of downloads, descending. Number of downloads, descending. So as you can see, the least one is the most recent one. It hasn't had enough chance to be downloaded by everyone. The most popular video is number 19, which has been downloaded 2,345 times. But I just know the episode ID. I need to know what the name of the episode is. In order to do that, I need to join this thing with another table. So how can I do that? Since the title of the episode is in the episodes table and it's not in the downloads table, we need to join the episodes table with the downloads table in order to get the count as well as the name of the episode. So let's go ahead and do that. So in this case, I'm going to modify this thing a little bit. I'll say select, let's say select, in order to make this simpler, select title and count star from count star as D, and then I want to join, do an inner join episodes as E, inner join episodes as E, and then you can say on, there are two ways to do it. This is one way to do inner join. You can also use a where clause, that also will work, but this is fine. E on E dot ID equals D dot episode ID. Okay, and then I'm going to have the group by. I want to group this thing by episode ID. That's right. And for each, I want to know the result for each episodes, and then I want to order by number of downloads descending. Let's say group by episode, group by D dot episode ID, since it doesn't know. Count stars number of downloads as okay, I know where the problem is. Title count stars number of downloads from downloads as D, inner join episodes as E, and this should work. Okay, so we see the most popular one is the Agile Web Development Depot app, and then the extended RESTful authentication, rolling with Ruby on Rails, and so on. So now, if we want to do this thing in ActiveRecord, how can we do this? That's the question. So let's see how we can do this in ActiveRecord. I find it easier if I have this SQL query written down. Then I can look in the documentation for ActiveRecord and specify the select the columns that I need, specify the joins, sort, and all that thing falls into place. So let's see how we can translate the query we have here, this query, into ActiveRecord. Let's jump into the console. Let's say list equals episode dot find let me see if I need to do find all. Let's try this. Find all, and then I want this select. If you don't specify this select, what happens is it will select all the attributes in the all the columns in the table. So we want only some of them. Okay. So since title is in the episodes table, I can just access the title. And then we want the count as number of downloads, and then the joins. I want to join this thing with inner join downloads, and I can specify on downloads dot episode ID equals, since the ID column is in both episode and the downloads table, we need to qualify it like this. E dot episodes dot ID, and then next we need to specify the group clause. Group by episode ID. Last one is the order. And that's it. So let's do a YAML printout and see if it makes sense. And we should have at the very top 2, 3, 4, 5 is the count number of downloads for Agile Web Development, and the number 2 spot is RESTful, number 3 spot is rolling with Ruby on Rails, and so on. So it makes sense. So we got this thing. And one thing that is missing here is, let's say you want to have having clause. Okay. So in this case, if you have this query and you want, let's say you want to have group by, after group by, you want to say having, I want only to list the number of downloads as exceeds 500. Number of downloads is greater than 500. Okay. So I get this, but what is the equivalent way of doing that in ActiveRecord? There is, if you look in the documentation, there is no having at all. So the workaround for that is here you just have this thing right here, like having, you can say number of downloads is greater than 500. Having, let's say, group by this, let's just say count star. Maybe that's the problem. Count star is greater than 500. Okay, there it is. That works. So when you print this, see the lowest one is 508, and it goes all the way to the very top we should find Agile Web Development. That's it. So if you enjoyed this screencast, please recommend me on Working with Rails. Thank you.